there, guys, and welcome back to SBRpicks.com. One of my favorite times of the year is finally here. We are in the NCAA conference playoffs leading up to the big dance next week. We've got Selection Sunday going down tomorrow. I mean, things are really heating up here. And tonight we have the Xavier Musketeers going up against number 4 in the nation, the Villanova Wildcats, in the Big East Conference Final. Here to talk over the showdown with me is expert handicapper and SBR contributor, Dave Golikoff. Dave, how you doing, man? Thanks so much for being on with us today.
I'm doing very good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. All right, so let's just dive right into this thing. A week ago, man, Xavier was just a bubble team, and now they've turned up the heat in the conference tournament, and we're seeing them in the Big East Championship. However, they are taking on a huge challenge tonight with the Villanova, who has been on fire all season long. We've got -7.5 ATS with Villanova as the favorites to win in this one. So what do you think, Dave?
So we have an interesting matchup here. You've got, on one hand, the Xavier Musketeers, who are probably into the tournament now, I would say. But, you know, they don't have to leave it to chance if they can upset Villanova. On the flip side, you got an Xavier team that was not expected to be in the tournament, which has surprised a couple of teams in the Big East. And now they're going up against the top dogs. So it's kind of an interesting matchup. Villanova, motivation for them, well, you know, they're one of the top teams in the nation, so they're going to the tournament either way. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how fired up they are to play in this one, because really they don't have a ton on the line, but you know, they've been so good for so long. They probably want that momentum going into the tournament. This is a team that's won, what is it, 12, 14 in a row, something along those lines. And they won 14 straight. They probably don't want that blemish as they head into the tournament, because that'll dull a little bit of their momentum. In terms of this actual matchup, you know, Xavier's really used their defense to get to this point. They played pretty well against Creighton, edging them by a point, stifled Butler with their defense, stifled Georgetown with their defense again. The question is, will they be able to do the same against Villanova? I don't think so. I think there's a huge gap in talent between the teams right now. Even though Xavier's playing pretty well, I think this is where the buck stops for them. Villanova and Xavier met on February 28th, and Villanova got 78 points in that game and won by 12. Now, that game was actually at Xavier's home. So, I mean, if Villanova can win by 12 on the road, I think that's a big concern for Xavier. The other thing, too, is just the amount of points scored. You take a look at Xavier in this tournament as they've gotten hot. You know, they held Creighton to 73, not great, but they held Butler to 61. They held Georgetown to 63. I think for this to be in Xavier's wheelhouse, this game needs to be low 60s. I just don't see that happening for them. Villanova, in my opinion, is the significantly better team. Take a look at the numbers: 19-2 when facing a team with a winning record, 15-5 against the spread in that span. Xavier, not in the same caliber there, especially in terms of against the spread. 12-10 against the spread this year against teams with a winning record. So I'm going to recommend taking Villanova here. I think they're going to get the big win and cover the 8 points. A lot of this pick is based on the fact that they won recently, as recent as February 28th, and rolled in that matchup, and they've won and covered 4 of the last 5 meetings overall between the sides.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that pick, Dave. I mean, I just see this being a huge statement game for them. So fantastic. There you go, guys. It's a great pick from our capper, Dave Golikoff. Dave, thank you so much again for being on with us today.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. And until next time, guys, this is Megan Rochester for SBRpicks.com.